Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Airfix's latest release. This is the 1/72 Bristol Beaufort Mark 1. I'll say it right off the bat, it's an interesting box art. I know the little blurb about it down here and all the rest of it, but it doesn't show off the aircraft in a particularly good light. I'll just get this out of the way now because it's just been bugging me that whilst I do think it's got a very nice rear, I just don't think it shows off the actual the model as if you're going to get, because you can't really see it from that one. And I know obviously you've got pictures down on here, we've got some pictures over here and things like that. And if you're going to be buying one of these, the chances are you know what it looks like. But it just seems an interesting picture really of all the angles it could have done it. I'm sure you could have done it from different angles, but I appreciate it's obviously showing the ship and on the torpedo run and things like that. It's just that you don't really get an idea of what it looks like, you know, and I do think that's a little bit interesting. Anyway, as we said, 1/72 scale, typical sort of Airfix, so not a lot round on there or in here. Your kit number for this one is 04021. Okay, usually always catches me out by printing upside down. We've got the little bit on there with the different squadrons that are available. Right, straight into the box, which can't find my knife. Break out orange scissors. Okay, so down in here we have, as always, a nice sealed box. If we could get in it. Come on, there we go. That's it. All right, so in the box, so you've never seen this before, so it's new to me and you. Ooh, okay, nice plastic. Actually, it's quite a lot in that bag. Usual thing, single bag. One day, you never know, they might do it as a twin. All right, so to start off with, let's have a look straight in the instructions. At least they fitted in this time, so not bent out of shape. Although we have got a nice little groove. Let me just try and take some of that out for you. All right, so straight into it. Obviously down in here straight away we're talking about opening up some holes. All right, so different versions, things like that, if you'll be doing those. And then it's into the cockpit. It looks like we've got a nice big wing spar running across as well, which not only obviously is it accurate from an internal point of view, but it does make your sort of wings line up a little bit better than the old-fashioned sort of tab and groove system down in there. Some of the bulkheads and then obviously the equipment being fitted right the way in, obviously making sure you're on 90 degrees and you've got no bits out of alignment, otherwise you're going to have problems following through. Okay, and then again, usual thing with Airfix, if you haven't seen any of the kits before, they do this highlight business, so anything you see in here is just highlighting angles and areas as well, so it's just making sure you've got it all on the same page as they're thinking. All right, so right the way through with the internals, you've got the seats, the instrument panels, decal for the instrument panels we would expect, the various items going in there. So we've got the control yoke being fitted down into this one, and then all the other areas as it's being fitted down in. Again, you've got some glass work, it looks like, from the insides, okay, which again, a little bit of a problem, but to be honest, they're going to be so small, you could probably do the old PVA trick with those. Okay, let's talk about removing some detail as well for different versions and things like that as you're going right the way through. Okay. And then obviously be fitting it into the internal. So obviously we've got some walls going down in here, some of the bulkheads and the various parts. Again, taking your time with this one, like I always say with internals, make sure they're fitted properly, because if they're not, obviously by the time you've got them glued in and you go to put the halves together, you're going to have some little gaps coming everywhere. All right, so again, right the way through, two halves coming together. We've got the generic pilot being fitted onto the inside, we've got the gunner station being fitted to the rear, and then obviously bulkhead things going in. Wings, okay, so the wings going down in there as well. So again, we've got these grooves on the inside which those wing spars are going to run along and give you good alignment, as we can see as they're being fitted down in there. Okay, both wings being fitted onto this one. Then obviously you've got choices down in here as well for the sort of flaps on the back system. Tailplanes being fitted in, and they are not posable unfortunately, but the rudder is, so you can do the rudder is movable if you wanted to. Gear up, gear down, so you obviously got the gear parts being fitted into the actual engine nacelle systems, and then the cells being fitted down into those ones, as you can see. And then we've got the air scoops being fitted in, and then the engines, quite basic, but by the time it's said, you've got the shroud around them, the cowlings and things, you're not going to see much anyway. Okay, so you could probably get away with those. All right, the actual engines being fitted down onto the front, exhaust coming off, same for the other side. Okay, and then the clear part being fitted in the front, side clear part, then front, then the underside. Okay, and I would take your time with those, because again, spending a little bit of time getting them pretty much seamless will just save any issues a little bit further down the line. So fix perhaps the top part in place, get that solid, then come along with these. Don't do them sort of when they're all sort of soft still, otherwise you're going to be pushing them out of alignment as they go through. Okay, Bombay doors obviously open or close, so you've got a one piece if you want to close it up. Obviously, if you're doing it opened up, you can go through and have it as the Bombay doors are actually open. Gear, and obviously the wheels being fitted down in there. Nice to see we've got some weight on wheels by the looks of it, so that's nice. Or you can go with the gear up option, depending which way you want to do it. So there we go, that's all your gear being fitted down into this one and going right the way through, very reminiscent to the sort of Mosquito design of gear. Okay, we've got another little air scoop up here being fitted just behind the engine, and then we're working our way around for the rear turret for the gunner station. That's all being fitted down in and then dropping in the back. All right, shroud going over the outside, again talking about making sure it's fitted down correctly into that one. Okay, and then we've got the under cheek station, okay, being fitted down in there for the gun, and then torpedo being fitted in, racked up, obviously if you're doing it, depending which versions you're doing. Okay, and then obviously we've got nav lights being fitted into the wingtips, and then the landing light fitted, and then we've got the door gunner on the side, as I call him, and then obviously props being fitted on there just like that. Interesting build, lots of detail down into that one. Okay, and then obviously you've got your things down in here. So this is Flying Officer Kenneth Campbell, which got the VC being fitted down in there from 22 Squadron from St Evell in Cornwall. Okay, and very close to me. So that's that one down in there, and then obviously we've got this one over here. As well, with the actual knifed bomber one as well, with the sort of the black on the underside, the various parts being fitted in there just like that. To be honest with you, it looks very interesting. Lots of detail going down in there. Again, Airfix really pushing along these days with all the details being added to this one. So ton of detail in the inside. Again, don't know how much you're actually going to see. A lot will be down to the thickness of the actual glass. Okay, so before we jump in the plastic, let's have a quick look at the actual markings themselves. You can see Airfix's standard design, okay, of decals, always pretty good. Good solid colour these days, nothing like they used to be. Okay, so that's actually looking very nice, as you can see with those. Okay, so in the car, which we're going to have to hack our way in, because you know what I've done with me knife. One of those ones where it will turn up at some point. Okay, so big old bag in here. Just get rid of that. So we've got clear parts, we've got those last, which we're going to go. There we go, let's start in here. So in sprue 1, you can see it's nice they've got these little guards in here. Okay, something we don't often talk about is the way that they're packaged is quite important. So what they tend to do is, when the sprues are all in the packaging like this, they lay them in such a way they don't rub or move or anything else, because obviously if you had it the other way you can have problems. So don't think the sprues are just chucked in a pack nilly-willy, because technically they're not. They're actually a bit of forethought to go in how the parts get packaged and go together. Good point of action. Anybody who bought the Mk.I triplane and had the slightly broken wing system onto this one, which only takes a drop of glue to fix it, the reason that was, if you look at it, the packaging was done incorrect. Only on some of the kits, somebody on the production line was putting them in upside down. So what happened was the seat was pushing against the wing. Yet if it was up the other way, it wouldn't have mattered. And that's the thing. And that's why some people had problems with broken parts and things like that, and others had no issues whatsoever. It's just that when it goes in, they put the box down, and that's pressure onto it, stack the boxes, and they're not the thickest boxes, let's face it, and then all of a sudden, snap. Okay, and that's what it is. So there is a little bit of forethought that goes into the actual laying these out. Anyway, enough of the waffling. Let's have a look, see what we got. As you can see, that standard way of doing it. I'm just checking around here because I can see some little marks and things like that, but I don't think they're actually coming right the way through. So yeah, I think we're actually okay. Usual thing, and it doesn't annoy me as much as I think people think it does, but there's no riveting, and I think really it's just that would be that next step. If we can get the riveting onto these, I think it would just really make it. Basically, it's here, and let's face it, it doesn't take too long to go around and do the riveting. The panel lines are all really nice these days. They're very, very sharp, very crisp. It's just that I feel now, to take it to the next level, they need to actually get on with the actual riveting of these things as well, and play a little bit of catch up with some other manufacturers out there that always tend to rivet. Now I know obviously a lot of people say, oh well, it's not the, you know, the most expensive kit in the world and all the rest of it, but I just think it would have that little option for modelers. If you're worried about it, then obviously you go do it yourself, but it's nice to have the option there. Anyway, as you can see, really very nice detail on those halves as well. And internally, as I say, we have got the odd ejector pin down in here, but we're sort of hoping this one down in here is not going to be in the way. That's quite an easy one to take care of. These down the back end you're not going to see anyway. So hopefully they're all just tucked out the way. They are around here. We've got one down in there, but I think there's a floor section, so it shouldn't really affect. Let's face it, you need to get them out, but yeah. So anyway, both sides of that looking very nice indeed. Down on here we've got these wheels, which again look a little bit basic. I think it's not helped by they're very shiny. Okay, but as I say, you've got sort of, it's not like it's an exposed hub. You've got parts each side that are going to clamp it, so you're not going to see too much down into there. The actual tail planes and things like that, again, we've actually got some moulded with the fabric, with the formers showing through on those, so that's quite nice. But again, interesting way that they've done it with this system. So actually what you've got, if you look at here, you've got these little circles, they come along and then fit into these, which is supposed to give you a better positive location. What I'd like to see though is that tailplane as a separate part, so if you are on the ground powered down, you could have them deflected slightly off instead of in the neutral position. We don't have that trouble with the actual rudder, as I said before, because again it's nicely molded and we can put a little bit of deflection in there just to take that off. Okay, so yeah, pretty darn good, as you can see. No problems at all with any of that, no sink marks. Wing sections, again, we go straight in on the close up here, you can see really nice detail, no problems at all. Okay, so I don't know if it's an optical illusion, but these top one panel lines look finer than the bottom ones. Why is that? Again, a little bit weird, because these look really nice, very much in scale, do like them. These under here look very Matchbox-esque, and I don't understand why they're thicker. Again, odd. It may be just an optical thing here, but it just looks a little bit heavier when you do a side by side on the bottom to the tops. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But again, nice little bit of detail inside the wheel well just down in there. And then obviously we've got some of the parts on the bottom here. These are for the flaps at the back, depending which one you're doing. Actually don't look too bad at all. Internally for these wings, there's a few ejection pins running around in here, a few little release marks in these as well, but generally very nice crisp details. Okay, into the underside sections just down in here. So down in here, as you can see, we've got the bomb bays and we've got the props and all the sort of engine cowls and stuff, which actually do look very nice indeed. So starting over here, as you can see, looking very nice. Got some good details down in here for the wing sparks. Obviously these will be seen. We've got the props there, we've got the internals for the cockpit area. Okay, we've got the bomb bay as well, obviously bomb bay closed. The engine nacelles just down in there. We've got these bulkheads running across the top here. These cowls over here for the engines look very nice actually, some good detail in those. Got the fronts, these engines, and again, you know, you've got everything you'd need. I don't think you need any more than that because you don't really see much in there. Okay, so that's all looking very, very nice indeed. Again, good details right the way through. Okay, then on to some of the smaller parts. Down in here we've got the guns and all the various little bits, as you can see. So we've got the gear, and again there's some very fine details in these, but they all look very, very nice indeed. Good crisp. The locating and injection port pins and things like that, they're all very, very fine on these, which is quite nice. And obviously we don't have them on the parts, which is, you know, obviously we've got the ejector ports all on here, so they're not on the parts, but we have got the odd one. There's one down in there and things like that, but again I don't think we're going to see any of those, but they're all very, very fine details. Okay, and then last up down in here we've got the torpedo. We have the pilot. So again we've got one pilot. Where's the rest of the crew? Did I miss those? We've got a pilot. What about a gunner? And everyone else. So, but apparently we only get the pilot. Okay, there we go. Very nice indeed. And over here we've got some of the cockpit details, which are looking very good indeed. I'm just seriously, do you just get one pilot? Where's the rest of the crew? Do we not get anybody in the rest of it? Just going back here and checking. No, we don't. Never mind. Okay, so clear parts. So down in hot in the clear parts. Oh, they are nice. Okay, there we go. This is what we're talking about with Airfix really these days, getting their sort of gear together. The plastic I don't think helps. It's in this god-awful garish colour. I don't understand why it's that colour, but it's like, I call it dental blue, but yeah. Anyway, the clear parts up here for the cockpit and stuff like that, look at that. They are absolutely crystal clear. And we're obviously, when we talk about 72nd scale, and one of my thoughts was that obviously with the bomb aimer's port at the beginning and stuff like that, if it's thick you wouldn't see much. You will through this, because you can probably see under here. There's no real distortions through this. It's very, very nice indeed. So you're going to see all of those details. So right the way down in here, these side windows. And again, the framework is beautifully done. There's a really nice sort of beveled edge to it. So, you know, I know most people would ideally have a mask set for this, but if you were self-masking, you've got a nice edge you can just go up to, cocktail stick round there, come in with a knife, cut them, and you shouldn't have any problem at all. But no, that's really actually the highlight of that. The clear parts are absolutely beautifully done. Very, very nice indeed. So there we have it. It's, you know, it's one of those things. It's greatness, but not quite. Again, I think if Airfix was to spend just a little bit more money doing riveting and getting that sorted out onto it, just adding that next layer of detail. And I know, you know, Airfix might turn around and I've had people say to me, but they tend to be, you know, because of the price point and obviously they're maybe for the younger modeler and stuff like that. Let's face it, Airfix are well past that now. They do some great kits, some great subjects as well. So it'd be nice for the more advanced modeler, if the riveting was there, that he can weather it, he can do various things with it and stuff like that and really add levels of detail. And okay, yes, of course, we've all got, you know, riveting wheels and we could go off and do it all ourselves, but it'd be nice to have it straightforward in the box. I just think it would raise them a little bit more. And now their panel lining and detail is really good. It'll just add to it then, and it'll just take you along. The clear parts as well. 72nd, go back a few years, yeah, it's like looking through a foggy old window. Nowadays, crystal clear, very, very sharp, so you can see all of those internal details, even if you don't get the crew. Anyway, there we go. That is Airfix's Bristol Beaufort Mark I. Beautiful kit.